Hey y'all, Shark Scrapper here. Well, this was really weird. The motorcycle shop that I pick up at, the guy next to him has been closing up his business. And I've gone and done a few pickups every now and then. But I got a call this morning, they're like, he's done. He's got to be out by Friday. Can you come help us? So I was in there for, I don't know, an hour or two this afternoon. Maybe a little bit longer. Anyway, we were going through everything to figure out what has any potential recycle value versus what's going to go in the trash. And I still ended up with a whole bunch of stuff here. Now, some of this is not great scrap, right? So we've got, you know, like here's a CD player. Still has the stuff you're supposed to pull off of it. AM/FM stereo tuner. Just that, if that still works, I may keep that. But there's a couple of computers buried down in here. There's a VCR. There's also some scrap metal kind of stuff. There's a lot of brass hiding around in here, plus just unusual, like this blue ball mason jar. That's got the potential for some resale, or my wife might want to use it for some of her decorative projects. But there's also a bunch of big copper stuff. There was some copper tubing, and oh yeah, there's this thing. So that's kind of cool. I'm going to check and see, you know, get this cleaned up a little bit. But that's just a nice big sheet of copper. Now, my wife, Mrs. Shark, may want to do something with this. If not, you know, it's just a chunk of scrap copper. Number 2 copper, I guess, because it's got so much corrosion on it. But then we have kind of, you know, this kind of stuff, right? So if you were a Navy person, that would be the submarine dolphin, the submariner's dolphin. It's a candlestick holder, but that's going to be brass. There's this sunlight diffuser thing. So here, let me get there's another lens that came with it. So there's the lens. So that's kind of really cool. Look at that. That's just a big chunk of glass. Again, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I couldn't bring myself to just throw it away. If there's somebody out there watching this video that says, oh man, I really would like to have something like that, you know, give me a holler, right? Drop me a line. This is the metal frame that it comes in. So I'm thinking that's some sort of sun lamp or maybe a spotlight lens there. Oh, let's see, a car. Oh, that was inside of that lens thing. A car stereo system. This was interesting. If you're into car detailing, you hang that over the side of the car. You know, you got all your stuff there. I just thought that might come in useful. I'm not quite sure for what, but let's see, here's a VHS player. We're going to go around and take a look at what was in that. I was trying to find, there's something, you know, there's one of these plastic containers that's got all brass nuts and screws in it. So that's down in there somewhere. There's a bunch of wire in there. There's some older tools laying around inside of there. Used to be a toolbox that would have sat down inside the toolbox for your tools. Now the gentleman that I was working with, we separated everything that looked like an old hand tool, and he's going to see what he can do with those before I take them. So he's going through all that stuff, and I may still end up with that stuff at some point. Old shopping cart here, old chop saw. some brass. There's some sort of brass light fixture thing. It's going to take me a long time to go through all this stuff. Oh, I remember what this was. These were hurricane lamps. So I'm going to go through these and see if there's any hurricane lamps that are still complete. If so, those might be marketable. There was also a big old thing of license plates, just a box of license plates. I mean, just a whole bunch of them. Yeah, what are we at here? Oh, I meant to check you. I think you're... Let's see. Okay, does not respond to a magnet. So you're either going to be aluminum or brass. That some sort of Japanese, Chinese kind of writing on it. I have no idea what this was. Maybe an umbrella stand? Mixer top. Oh, keys. Yeah, that was the other thing. So a whole bunch of keys. Now I started checking the keys, and almost all of the keys are brass, as well as this wire that the key is connected with. Now some of those were steel, but a lot of it is brass. And then it's got this fiber board thing. The guy must have owned or used to own or something, a place called the Orman Hotel, because they were all marked with Orman Hotel. And in addition to, yeah, there you go, Orman Hotel. But in addition to these kind of keys that you're used to seeing, there were a bunch of old skeleton keys. Of course, I won't be able to find one now that I want to find one. But those were really cool, you know, just the old style skeleton keys. And I don't know what I'm going to do with those yet either. They're down in here somewhere. So I had to get those separated out because, you know, those, I don't want to just throw those away. And then there's just weird oddball stuff that the guy has, you know, like bags full of nuts and bolts and screws and connectors. And then you got this thing, right? So I'm thinking that is a candle holder that you would mount to the wall. And then you'd have a candle in there. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Let's see if you're brass. It's a mixture. Oh, there's a spring. So there's a steel spring inside of there, but the main body is brass. But again, I don't know if that's, you know, if that's something that I want to just scrap or try to sell, or what I want to do with that. So you got the spring here, and so I think you would put the candle down in there, and the spring would keep pushing the candle up as it burned off. Very cool kind of stuff. Here's one of the old skeleton keys that he had. So there's a bunch of these floating around in all this stuff. You know, little bags of brass rings and things down here, and oddball connectors. There's a whole bunch of screws or nails or something. So, more screws and nuts and bolts and things. The gentleman had taken everything that he wanted to keep, so you know, this was just, we're cleaning it out for him so that he doesn't have to pay a junk hauler to come you know, I think the junk company wanted to charge him $500. And the guy at the motorcycle shop and I said, hey, come on, you have given us a lot of stuff. You've never asked for anything, any payment. We'll clean this place out for you. We'll get you taken care of. So look at all these old license plates here. That's what I was looking for, all these old license plates. Then some cables. So yeah, it's going to take me a while to get through all of this stuff. But you know, it's just, the time-consuming part of this is going to be separating the copper and the brass. And I think there might even be a few aluminum items in here. So I want to get that stuff separated. And then finding the stuff that is potentially vintage, or at least somewhat kind of vintage, that maybe there's somebody would want that instead of me scrapping it. I don't know how these were supposed to go in the trash. I don't know why these ended up in the back of the truck. Oh well, it's just his old scrapbooks that he didn't want. So all right, so really interesting pickup, and I'm gonna have a lot of fun going through all of this. I think what I'll do is set aside the really cool stuff and maybe do another little short video or something like that on the really cool stuff that I find. All right, everybody, have a great one.